To succeed in the NBA, having a competitive edge is essential, but some players take it a step too far. From on-court clashes to infamous incidents, their actions have left a trail of controversy, injuries, and even an unlucky cameraman. Today, we're diving into the 5 biggest villains in NBA history, starting with none other than the point god himself, Chris Paul. 5. Chris Paul. This phrase might perfectly describe Chris Paul's playing style. Beneath his brilliant point guard skills lies a deadly attitude towards the game of basketball. CP3 will do anything to win a game, even if it means manipulating the referees or even using dirty tricks to get an edge over his opponents. Just ask NBA good guy Mike Conley, who got hit in the knees by CP3 while he recklessly and needlessly tried to grab a loose ball during the in-season tournament. Also, you know you're a pain when your biggest NBA rival's a referee. Scott Foster and CP3 have been going back and forth for years, to the point where the NBA commissioner had to step in and make a statement.
They need to be professional about this, and Chris and I, have now talked directly, and there are issues we have to work through.
Fans would want Foster fired if it were any other player, but because CP3 has ruined Foster's reputation over the years, fans enjoy it when Foster unfairly criticizes him. Call it poetic justice. Besides, it's hard to feel sorry for someone who has a whole highlight reel on YouTube of hitting other players below the belt. What's even worse is that reporter Howard Beck asked players, coaches, scouts, owners, scalpers, popcorn vendors, and even ushers which player they disliked the most, and Chris Paul's name came up almost every time. Next is Patrick Beverley, the guy who gets under CP3's skin the most. 4. Patrick Beverley. Pat Bev has made a living as a bouncer. He is the one who will pick you up in full court and bother you all the way down. Just ask Lonzo Ball, who was rudely awakened to how physical the NBA is thanks to Pat Bev. But over the years, he has definitely walked the line between being a physical defender and being downright dirty. He has gotten into fights with Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, Gary Trent Jr., Desmond Bane, DeAndre Ayton, and many more. Every season, Pat Beverley seems to add another name to the list of guys he has pushed or shoved. But the worst incident may have happened in 2013, when Beverley carelessly charged Russell Westbrook while he was calling a timeout and tore his meniscus. Most recently, he continued his bad behavior by giving Chris Paul a cheap shot during the playoffs. When CP3's back was turned to Pat Bev, he rammed his shoulder into him, sending Chris Paul flying to the ground. Luckily, he wasn't hurt. Pat Bev was suspended for that dirty hit, but at least he started acting dirty in the NBA. Our next player has been doing it since before he was drafted. 3. Grayson Allen. Most players become villains over time in the NBA, but Grayson Allen was already one of the biggest bad guys because of what he did in college. For starters, he played for Duke, which made people dislike him. Secondly, he looks a lot like Ted Cruz, which is another strike. Third, he was known for tripping players, and during his junior year, Coach K even suspended him from the team for his dirty behavior. You'd think Allen would learn his lesson and clean up his act when he got to the NBA hardwood, but he has a 5-minute highlight reel of dirty plays on YouTube, so you should keep being the bad guy. In 2019, he was kicked out of a summer league game for 2 clear fouls on Celtics forward Grant Williams. Remember that no one really takes summer league seriously? And Grayson Allen was trying to hurt Grant Williams in 2020. Trae Young said Allen tried to trip him during a game. As we already said, old habits are hard to break, and Allen's worst play in the NBA may have been when he intentionally fouled Alex Caruso in the air, breaking his wrist and forcing Caruso to miss 2 months of play. What made that play even worse was the fact that it's against the rules to try to mess with a guy in the air. Doing so is sure to end badly, but Allen was willing to do anything, even if it meant hurting other players. Grayson might have been higher on the list if the next 2 entries hadn't been going crazy recently. 2. Dillon Brooks. In the NBA, to be a villain, you need to upset a lot of fans and even hit a few players in a very sportsmanlike way. Dillon Brooks does both of those things. If you've been watching Brooks's career for a while, you shouldn't be too surprised by his current actions. Acts and behaviors. Brooks has been like this since college, and in the NBA, he has made a long list of dirty plays, such as yanking Jokic's arm in a way that could have seriously hurt the big guy, in stepping over Mike Conley after pushing him to the ground. Those are just a few of the minor things he's done. Brooks has lost almost $250,000 this year in fines for similar incidents. One of the worst was when he hit Donovan Mitchell in the groin, which led to a fight between the two players in Cleveland. Brooks may be best known for getting into a fight with a few Warriors players. Brooks has said a lot of mean things about Draymond over the years. He even pushed Steph Curry to the ground during a game and made fun of Klay Thompson after the Warriors beat them. Brooks went too far in Game 2 of the series against the Warriors. Gary Payton, too, was in the air and had an open shot, but Brooks attacked him from behind and hit him in the head. The hit knocked Allen off balance, and he broke his elbow when he fell. After the game, Warriors coach Steve Kerr said that Brooks broke the rules and tried to hurt another player on purpose. Now, getting into a fight with another player makes sense, but Brooks crossed a different line when he pushed an innocent cameraman during a game against the Heat. Brooks was trying to keep the ball from going out of bounds when he pushed the cameraman, who fell on his elbow while trying to protect the expensive and valuable camera. Brooks didn't even say sorry, and he played down the fact that the NBA fined him $35,000 for being careless by saying that it was just paper. Of course, there was the "I poked the Bears" incident with LeBron James, but Brooks was embarrassed by LeBron in the playoffs, so that seems like enough punishment. Brooks would have been at the top of the list if not for the recent actions of our next entry. 1. Draymond Green. How to start Draymond? It's hard to keep track of all the people he's hurt. Maybe it's time to go back to his very first bad deed, which was attacking Steven Adams and the Future Kids. When you have a whole highlight reel of hitting people in the groin, you deserve to be on this list. Unfortunately for Adams, he was the star of the show, since Draymond has hit the New Zealanders several times since then. He went from hitting people below the belt to attacking his teammates in practice. Of course, we're talking about the video that went viral of him hitting Jordan Poole in practice. That hit not only hurt the team's chances of going back-to-back, but it also sent the Warriors' best young player to a different team. It wasn't the first time Draymond ruined a good thing. He famously drove Kevin Durant out of Golden State. He insulted one of the best players of all time in front of the whole team and called him names. If that wasn't bad enough, when was the last time you saw a grown man jump and stomp someone in the chest that wasn't in a World Star video? Well, Draymond did that to Sabonis in the playoffs and got away with it like a good bad guy would. But it looks like his luck has run out recently, and he is now having to deal with the consequences of all the bad things he has done in the past. For example, he choked Rudy Gobert without a reason, which got him suspended from the league. But he didn't learn his lesson because he came back and punched Yusuf Nurkic in the face, which got him suspended for life from the league. What about you guys? Who do you think is the biggest villain in the league? Comment down below, and let's discuss. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell beside it so you're notified the next time we upload a video. With that being said, we'll catch you next time.